Did a bombshell new study prove that mRNA jabs have caused tens of millions of serious new health problems worldwide, including a condition known as postural orthostatic tachycardia syndrome, POTS? No, that's not true. The 2022 study, conducted by researchers from Cedars-Sinai and Brigham and Women's Hospital, found that COVID-19 vaccinations were associated with an increased risk of certain health conditions, including POTS, but that individuals infected with the SARS-CoV-2 virus were 5 times more likely to develop these conditions. A spokesperson for Cedars-Sinai Medical Center told Lead Stories that finding underlined the importance of the COVID-19 vaccine. Furthermore, the researchers had acknowledged a possible association that warrants further investigation rather than a causal link between COVID-19 vaccines and POTS. They did not state that tens of millions of any serious new health problems had occurred worldwide after vaccination against COVID-19. The claim originated in a February 28, 2023, article on Substack by Alex Berenson, whose claims Lead Stories has fact-checked before. The article's introduction read, quote, "Adults have sharply higher risks of being diagnosed with heart, skin, and psychiatric conditions for at least 90 days after they receive COVID jabs, a peer-reviewed study of almost 300,000 people in California has shown." The researchers examined new diagnoses given to the same people before and after they were vaccinated to see whether the shots changed the risk of new health problems. End quote. Berenson later shared a screenshot of the Substack post on Instagram and Twitter. This is what they looked like at the time of the publication of this fact-check. Source: Instagram and Twitter screenshots taken Friday, March 3, 20 hours 44 minutes and 11 seconds 2023. In response to an enquiry from Lead Stories, Sally Stewart, Associate Director for Media Relations at Cedars-Sinai, the nonprofit hospital that ran the study's research in Los Angeles, California, emailed on March 3, 2023, that, quote, "We understand that some have been posting social media messages about the study that do not accurately report the findings." End quote. A mischaracterization of the findings. Berenson mischaracterized the findings of the study. Apparent risks of postural orthostatic tachycardia syndrome diagnoses after COVID-19 vaccination and SARS-CoV-2 infection, which was published on December 12, 2022, in the peer-reviewed journal Nature Cardiovascular Research. He took data from the study, but presented it without context. The study does report that the rate of new-onset POTS diagnoses was slightly higher after COVID-19 vaccination. However, that rate is 5 times lower than the rate of POTS diagnoses after SARS-CoV-2 infection, according to Stewart. Quote, "This same general trend of proportionately higher rates of new diagnosis after infection compared to after vaccination was consistently seen for myocarditis, as well as for other more common diagnoses." End quote. The study's authors note that this trend highlights the importance of vaccination against the SARS-CoV-2 virus. Quote, The rate of new POTS diagnoses made after vaccination was much less frequent the rate of new POTS diagnoses made after SARS-CoV-2 infection, indicating that excess risks remain higher after infection than after vaccination. End quote. Stewart emailed Lead Stories that, as scientists, the study authors believe the most effective way to address misstatements and correct the record about the work is to clearly restate the correct and accurate facts found in the published study. Stewart continued, quote, "The main message is that while there is a potential, not proven, link between COVID-19 vaccination and POTS, preventing COVID-19 through vaccination is still the best way to reduce the risk of developing POTS." End quote. POTS has been associated with another vaccine. The HPV vaccine Gardasil also has been associated with POTS. POTS is a non-life-threatening condition that affects about 1 to 3 million people in the U.S. It causes a person's heart to beat faster than normal when transitioning from sitting, lying down, or standing up, according to the Cleveland Clinic. The cause of POTS remains unknown, but the condition is often treated with dietary and behavioral changes like exercise and physical activity. The National Institutes of Health reports that it is possible that pregnancy, major surgery, trauma or a viral illness could make a person more prone to POTS. A case of POTS following a COVID-19 vaccine first was reported in 2021. Conducting the study's researchers analyzed the health data of 284,592 COVID-19 vaccinated individuals between 2020 to 2022 from the Cedars-Sinai Health System in Los Angeles County, California. The authors note that their observational data was based on medical records.